My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. Today I'm reviewing Monsieur by Frederic Malle, and I love the way the Perfumer's name is on the box. This is £102 for 30ml, £135 for 50ml and £210 for 100ml. The description, if this goes on and on, I'm not going to read it. No, it's quite short. Virile with a twist. For the man who wears a pinstripe suit with ease and self-assurance, who's highly sophisticated. I'm not reading it, can't be bothered. The notes are patchouli, rum, mandarin, cedar, suede, incense. Do we have our bottles of Monsieur by Frederic Malle? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. I love this packaging. I think it's very, very cool. So this really is what I thought it was gonna smell like. I had this thing about what a gentleman would smell like, and if I was gonna develop a gentleman's fragrance, I would have patchouli, cedarwood, sandalwood, vetiver, and then some citrus on the top, and I'd base it upon modern perfumery of Isu Super, some beautiful musk, some wood notes in it, and that really is happening within here. And because it's French, I would imagine some other things in this. So when I saw this, I thought gentleman sort of fragrance. That's sort of what I thought. It's similar to what I had in my head, but nothing like it at the same time. So this contains all the patchouli and sandalwood, but it's a patchouli dominant fragrance, and it's so dry and so tinny. Patchouli, sandalwood, and then it has some citrus as the top note. So it is sort of what I like about this is that it's not saying that there were extracts that were crushed by fairies at the top of a mountain, brought down on some Pegasus, and then further crushed by unicorns with virgins washing their hair, all of that. It's saying what it is, and that I really love. And as you know, I think perfumery should be far more honest. There's a leather note. This is combining leather, patchouli, sandalwood. Feels a little bit sort of oak mossy as well. So it's that sort of thing. It's so metallic, and that is going to be my problem with this. Patchouli is one of my most favorite raw materials. I have lots of favorite raw materials actually. When I was 14, I used to walk around with patchouli on, so I was gothic, and so I have a real reverence to patchouli, and patchouli is beautiful on its own. Now, there was a Tom Ford patchouli fragrance. This feels like similar, different, similar, but I prefer this one to the Tom Ford one. They are working with musk excellently, and when you are working with fragrances, one of the first things I think about is the musk accord, and it's so important. And fragrances that tend to smell unfinished generally just have one musk or no musk. You can work with no musk, that gives you a different feel, but they generally just have one musk. And for me, the more experienced a perfumer is and really understands what they're doing and thinks through perfumery, you think about what you're trying to do. Are you trying to smooth out a formulation? Are you trying to expand a formulation? Are you trying to flatten it to the skin? Are you trying to make it smell metallic? Are you trying to make it this, that, and the other? And then how do you combine them all? And perfumery is so complex, and it's not only a science, it's also a real art form. And really, when you're creating a fragrance, it really is like creating music. That's why it's called notes. And the musk accord is key to the most successful fragrances. If you get that musk accord right, in the right ratio and in the right percentages, and you'll have a really well-selling fragrance. And this is what's been done here. Leather notes are incredibly high, and that is the feel I don't particularly, not sure quite what I feel, but I think this is a lovely night fragrance. Smelling it now, I think you could have had something like a darker name to it. It smells very dark and mysterious. On to my final thoughts. I think this is excellent. The more I'm smelling it, the more I'm liking it actually. Initially, the leather was a little bit too unpalatable, I have to say, because it wasn't sweetened. But the more I'm smelling it, the more I'm really liking it actually. very dark and gothic. The name, I think the name could have been different, but I love the black bottle. I love the red thing. I just think the name could have been a bit cooler, actually. They could have gone for something much more gothic, and then I think it would have really, really sold it to me. But I think this is an excellent technical masterpiece. This is Perfumer done really well. To work with high levels of patchouli is so difficult. This has been done perfectly. So I go through my marks with you. This is legal, safe, compliant, so it gets a 2 out of 2. This, because it's how it's been built, sits on the skin, radiates off, lasts for hours. So it gets a 2 out of 2. The money, I think this is really worth the money, actually. I think it's fantastic. There are some beautiful naturals in there. It's got some, it's musk heavy. Musks are very, very expensive. It's also got some raw materials in there that are also expensive. So this is an expensive formulation, and the price is like dead on. Next 4 marks are for me. I really like this. I think it's excellent for what it is. I see it, this is the problem I'm having. For what it is, it's perfect, but it's lacking a little bit of sweetness to it. That's the only thing. But for what it is, I think it's excellent. You know, sort of a struggle with these sort of very high marked ones. Personally, I think if the leatheriness was toned down slightly and some sweetness and smoothness was added into it, it would go just to a 10. What's the name? I'd like to see the name changed as well. The name doesn't really fit with it for my liking. I thought for something like a gentleman, it would be a bit more well dressed. This sort of smells like a really dark, gothic night fragrance. Like in the spiel as well, which I didn't particularly read, was all about pinstripe suits and stuff. The name doesn't suit the marketing, and the marketing doesn't suit the formulation. There's like a disconnect somewhere between marketing, sales, and the perfumer. But I'm going to market it as a perfume. I think the perfume is fantastic, and I think the price is fantastic. Sublime, technical, brilliant perfumery. I'm going to mark it a 9 out of 10. And the one mark that's coming off is because I just don't think the name and the marketing and all of that sort of particularly, you know, now I'm on the dry down, it particularly suits it. If it had a more of a gothic name, if the marketing was different, I think it would have gone higher. But that sort of thing is sort of like what's affecting my judgment to it. But I think it's excellent. If you love patchouli fragrances, if you love leather, if you love darkness and sort of a slight sort of smoky quality to it, this is absolute for you. If you love clean, fresh sweetness, you absolutely won't love this. So this is going to be quite polarizing as well. So we love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands, and lots of fragrance reviews. Hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you soon.